Hello, I'm Matthew Wood.
And I'm Beth Hemmings.
Coming up on today's show, we take a look at the misuse of bus lanes in Manchester.
We celebrate culture at One World Week at Salford University.
And with Varsity coming up next week, we speak to some of the teams involved.
Hello and welcome to Quays News. Manchester's 3 bus lanes are among 10 of the most profitable, as the new bus lane cameras are raking in nearly £5,000 in fines each day. Nicola Bartasova has this report.
Have you ever been fined for driving into a bus lane in Manchester? Well, many people have. The new Portland Street bus lanes in Manchester city centre are catching an average of 225 drivers a day, which makes the council almost £5,000 daily in fines. Second-year Salford University student had also been fined, but in Salford.
I've been fined on the Chapel Street when I did the left turn towards Sainsbury's. It was fair that I was fined. But I would say if that was the first time, and then for people who didn't realise that there was a bus lane, then the government could let them off. So since I've been fined, I'm being extra careful to not drive into the bus lane.
Manchester itself has 3 bus lanes among country's 10 most lucrative ones. Bus lane cameras make £31 million in a year for councils in England. Almost 4,000 drivers each day are fined for driving in bus lanes. The amount of drivers being caught every year is getting higher. Why do drivers ignore bus lanes, and is it fair for them to be fined?
It's probably because that they are in a rush. They don't know there was a sign there that says bus lane. I think it's a fair fine to have it implemented across nationwide, because it stops drivers from using the bus lane, taking advantage of it.
I personally think that it's really unfair to fine people for parking or driving in bus lanes, because Manchester's becoming like a second London, that the traffic is just really getting out of control.
A Manchester City Council spokesperson said the council and its partners are investing significantly in bus lanes across Manchester to help ensure that public transport operates efficiently. Bus lanes are clearly signed to warn motorists that only buses, taxis and cyclists are allowed to use them during the restricted times. If any motorist believes their penalty charge should not be paid, then they have the right to appeal against it. Drivers are clearly advised not to drive into bus lanes. Whether they follow it or not, that's up in the air. Nicola Bartasova, Quays News.
Now, if you've heard of Greater Manchester's spatial framework, you'll know that Manchester needs more homes. But can we afford to lose green spaces to make way for houses? Harrison Taylor went out to find out more.
The Greater Manchester spatial framework has begun to divide opinion in Manchester. However, it could begin to drive a wedge between the residents of Flixton and the Trafford Council. It's been a busy morning here at the William Road Golf Course in Flixton. However, there won't be many more quite like it. Plans to close the golf course at the end of the month, take it out of its greenbelt status and build 750 homes, part of Greater Manchester's spatial framework, have already begun. This means taking away a large green leisure facility used by young and old out of the community.
This is closing in theory because there's not enough people playing to cover the costs of running it. The fact that it's going to be closed makes it easier, in my opinion, for the council to take it out of greenbelt status, which they're proposing to do, and build houses on it, which is, to my mind, totally the wrong thing to do, really. The real problem is, you see, as I say, I estimate that the council, if they sell this half of the golf course, will make £60 million, because all you've got to do is work out, they say they're going to build 750 houses. The typical density for those and the acreage that they'll need and the price per acre is getting up towards £1 million an acre. You build 750 houses here, think of the infrastructure. There's only one road in and out of Flixton, and that's Jockard at the moment. It's a bad idea. Definitely a bad idea. But I don't know, I think we're fighting a losing battle, to be honest.
Unfortunately, Trafford Leisure were unable to comment. However, an email from Sean Anstey, head of Trafford Council, said part of the land had been identified for the Greater Manchester Spatial Framework and the consultation had already closed and the next proposals will be issued this year. Harrison Taylor, Quays News.
Now it's time to catch up with all the latest sporting news with Gerard Mannion. And an English team made the first quarter-finals of the Champions League last night. Gerard?
Yes, that's right, Beth. Last season's Premier League champions Leicester City wrote another chapter in their remarkable story. They progressed to the final leg of the competition with a 3-2 win on aggregate over Sevilla. Having come into the second leg 2-1 down, the Foxes stunned the Spanish side with goals from Wes Morgan and Mark Albrighton. Samir Nasri was sent off for the away side before Kasper Schmeichel gave away a penalty. But the son of the former United legend redeemed himself by saving Steven Nzonzi's penalty kick to see his side through. In the other Champions League tie of the night, Italian champions Juventus also progressed. Now, varsity is next week, and our sports editor James has been to see the hockey club as they prepare for the 22nd of March.
At Salford, you won't find a men's hockey club or a women's hockey club. No, here, both groups practice together, in an environment largely unseen at university level.
Although they train together, both the men's and the women's teams will no doubt be approaching this year's varsity fixtures with different mindsets. Because last year, the men lost 2-1, while the women won in a thriller 4-3.
So how are the captains feeling ahead of the big day?
We'll have a good number of girls this year. It's actually more than what we can put in a team, so we'll have to do a selection process, so it's going to be good to get the strongest team out possible, as we have 2 teams, so it'll be great to hopefully get the win back again as last year.
So it'll be very tough. We're probably going to be a bit different from last year, so we've lost quite a few good players, but we've got some few good ones in. And I think for the first game, we're going to be the underdogs, but I don't really believe in that term, so I think we'll be all right.
I was interested to find out whether they felt training in mixed groups helped or hindered them.
Being a mixed society, it's more fun because there's more of us on night outs, and like instead of being separate and then acting like the boys say girls and don't know each other, it's nice just being all one big family. And
some people see it as the girls is a bit weaker, but I don't think they are. This one, the club we've got in right here, the girls are actually really good, and teamwork-wise is really good as well.
Whatever happens on the day, you can guarantee that each side will be cheering on the other till the end. James Diamond, Quays News.
Varsity kicks off next Wednesday with that battle against Chester. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Quays News Sport for all the latest news and insight, including some live coverage from several varsity games.
Thank you, Gerard. I'm really looking forward to the varsity games, actually. Will you be watching any?
Probably. Do you think you will?
Yeah, I reckon I might tune into the football. Yeah, maybe some of the hockey games as well.
Like for join you.
Yeah, of course you can.
Thanks.
The University of Salford held the results for the sabbatical officer elections last Friday.
With 40 candidates and almost 4,000 views, this year's election turnout was the biggest so far.
The winners of the election and the new voices for Salford Student Union are
Zamzam Ibrahim for President, John Connell Lyons for Arts and Media Officer, Famous Dekeri for Business and Law Officer,
Emily Voss-Bevan for Health and Social Care Officer, and Kobe Offery for Science and Technology Officer. Salford University is running One World Week in a week-long celebration of the university's multicultural community of staff and students. Fanny Kashash reports.
University of Salford is hosting One World Week for the second time, with a wide range of internationally themed events to celebrate multiculturalism and diversity. The week's events started off with language tasters and a holy celebration, which gave a chance for students to run into a sky full of colors.
Holi is known as the Festival of Colors. Colors such as red, blue, yellow, green, they all signify different various things, such as fertility, peace, love, but mainly it signifies the beginning of spring, because spring brings out different colors in the nature. University is all about experiencing new cultures and experiencing new different festivals, different events, and getting to know about different countries, what their culture is, how the culture behaves, and what different kind of people are. So it's not just about one person. it's about the whole world.
Thursday we have our international karaoke night, so what we want to do is to get everybody to get involved with the karaoke but do a song from their home country, just to kind of showcase the music where they come from. And then on Friday as well we've got the St Patrick's Day event, which is obviously the big Irish celebration. Get all the Irish decorations out and stuff. There as well we've got the language taster session, so you can come down to Atmosphere, you can try out some different languages, learn a different language. It's really important, especially in today's society, that we all come together and we celebrate each other, because in these times where there's obviously a lot of tension between different countries and different cultures and stuff, we need to make sure that obviously students' unions are the most forward-thinking organisations in the country. So we need to make sure that we're driving forward that inclusion and that kind of community with all students and all races, because if we can't do it on our own university campuses, then there's not really any hope for anybody else.
One World Week will close with an all-day celebration of St. Patrick's Day, but till then you can still join one of the more than 20 music, language and sport events to explore other cultures, try new foods and meet people from different backgrounds. Fanny Kassás, Quays News, Salford.
Girl Gang Manchester, a local events group, are helping women make friends with their new event, Speed Mating. The night takes the idea of speed dating and applies it to friendship. Connor Griffiths has more.
Meeting new people outside our normal social circles can be difficult. Girl Gang Manchester are aiming to help people make new friends in their newest night, entitled Speed Mating. The event that launched on Thursday takes the familiar concept of speed dating and applies it to making new friends. The night was popular and attracted a wide range of people taking part.
Been so much more popular than we expected. I kind of knew that it would get there eventually, but considering it's our first outing, super pleased. Well, I think with Girl Gang we're quite conscious to try and give it as broad appeal as possible, so it sounds daft, but even from things like the articles that we share on the internet, like we make sure they're not just things that are about people in their 20s or like about people that are older. We do like a real range of things, so I think we're like constantly like reiterating all of our events are open to all genders, all races, all ages, all sexualities, so yeah, I'm really pleased that that's kind of paid off and that it seems to have a broad appeal.
After the night had ended, I spoke to some of the women who had attended and asked them what they thought of the night.
It was really fun. Like, I came on my own and I have quite bad anxiety, so walking into a room full of people I don't know was quite daunting, but I've met really nice people, so it was great.
I came down with a couple of friends, but I've barely spoken to them all night. I've just been speaking to strangers all night who I wouldn't necessarily come across in my everyday walk of life.
Well, outside of the friends you already have and work, it's kind of hard to make new friends, because you have to meet up regularly, to get something going, otherwise, or you meet someone at something and it's a bit forward to be like, let's be buddies, do you know what I mean? So I think it's a really good idea.
The ideas behind speed mating are unconventional, but as you can see from the huge crowd behind me, the night is a huge success and surely will spawn further speed mating nights in the future. Connor Griffiths, Quays News.
Now we're going over to Theo for the weather. Theo?
Thank you and good afternoon. Now, as you can see behind me, the weather is very pleasant today with temperatures from around 11 to 13 degrees with sunny spells and patches of rain later in the afternoon. Now, if you're free this evening, you can head over to the Fitzgerald for some open mic and see plenty of talent from Manchester, 8 p.m. onwards, free of charge. And as we head into Thursday, it's going to be cloudy throughout the day, turning heavier with patches of rain in the afternoon. And the temperatures will be ranging from around 7 to 11 degrees. And what's on, you can head over to Thursday Night Live, national comedians from all around the country giving you something to laugh about. And as we head into Friday, it's going to be wet, windy and cold with a bit of rain. But what more to spice up your day than go to see Ollie Murs at the Manchester Arena. And as we head into the weekend, it's going to be dry with spells of some rain, but if you want to do a bit of the cha-cha-cha, do not hesitate to go to Manchester Arena where Strictly Come Dancing will be doing a live show. That's it from me, Theo Chicomba, Quays News.
And that's all from us today. For more of the latest sports, entertainment and news, head over to the website at quaysnews.net.
Or follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Snapchat, all at Quays News.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.